got something exciting going on. I'm gonna take you and let you see. You ready? This isn't it, but I thought I'd give you a little peek into the greenhouses as we walk by. Doing good. Some things are bolting, but we're eating them. So we have this bed. It's the same size as a greenhouse. Outside of the greenhouse is in between. And it's doing pretty good. We got different garlics and walk-in onions coming up here. We have several things. So the spinach and the miner's lettuce there. That spinach over there. Let's see if I'm pointing right. The spinach there. Corn salad there. There's some speckles of some different lettuces that are cold tolerant. Super cold tolerant. They all made it through the Arctic blast. Unprotected. So they went through lots and lots of snow and -9 with real feel in the -30s. So I'm going to save seed from these things because these things, they did some amazing stuff. Now there's a few things you can see over here where it's kind of planted out in 2 rows. That is Landis winter lettuce, and then down below that is tatsoi. And it's dealt with the cold, but not the Arctic blast. It was in the greenhouse, and we thinned them out and put them out here after the Arctic blast. So it was a little different. But then on the back of this bed, we got 2 rows of strawberries. They got planted really late because of us moving. And I mean, they got planted and then it got cold. And so I was afraid, the next morning it got freezing cold. So I was afraid they were all going to die. Looks like all but one have come back. So let's check out this one. This one's had a lot of aphid damage, but we still got some stuff going on. Oh wow, I just cut from that area 2 or 3 days ago. That looks amazing. Look over there, just sharing with y'all. We got we got different radishes, and we got a bunch of onions and turnips, and we got broccoli in the back. I'll show you this lettuce. You see how I cut it, and you already see the new leaves coming out. Looking good. Now on to the fun part. All right, here you go. This is the new exciting thing we're doing right now. So we're laying down a new bed. So I was going to share with you how we do this. So we're keeping it where we've got our greenhouse, and then we got our garden bed and a greenhouse, and then it's going to go one more garden bed and then actually another greenhouse later. But for right now, we're getting this ready for spring planting, and this will just be, he'll frame it out so it's already matching that framing on the bottom, but we'll plant in it like is, and then when it gets fall, we'll cover it up for the greenhouse. So we don't do till gardens. We used to, and no-till gardens by far are easier to make, less strain on the body, even in getting your foundation and your bed ready, but also throughout the whole entire season, and it's healthier for your plants. So I was going to share how we do this. Get this paper. You can see these rolls of paper. You can get this at Lowe's or at Home Depot. It's just plain paper. It's not colored. It's not treated in any way. And they use it to cover floors and things like that when building. So we did 2 layers here. That's what I wanted. In the greenhouse, we only did 1 layer, and it did fine. But like when they were walking on it to put mulch, if it poked a hole, some grass came through. So we wanted 2 layers this time. And then you cover it with mulch, whatever your mulch may be. We're using grass clippings and leaves. And Michael's right there working on getting the grass clippings for us. So he went through and just put some here and there to help hold it down, and now he's filling it in like it is over there to make it deeper. He did it by himself. This is easy using these rolls because you can just roll it out. You can set a log on it, or you can put, a rock or something, or have somebody help you. And they just have to stand on one end, roll it out. Then you can actually spray it with the water hose, and it will sink it down to the ground and let it sit there and be heavy. And you don't have to do all the labor like for newspapers and for boxes, worrying about the wind blowing it off or putting little smidgens every 2 seconds of mulch on top of your paper. And so it works really, really, really good using these rolls. And you could actually take 2 rolls at the same time, lay them on top of each other, roll one down, and then take the other one, roll it down too, so you have your 2 layers in one fell swoop, and it just gets laid, covering your big area really, really quick. And then you just put your mulch on it. Now for the greenhouse, we were going to plant really fast. So in the greenhouse, in that bed over there, we put a layer of composted goat manure so that we could plant in it right away. So we did that, and then we did the grass clippings on top of that. Here, this ground is really, really, really good. So we're just putting down the mulch here. But you can do all kind of mulches. You can do compost, you can do straw, you can do wood chips, you can do grass, hay. There's all kind of mulches that you can use, but this is one that we have free and available. And right now is the perfect time because there's not seed heads all in the grass. And so that's what we're doing. And it's done really, really good in the greenhouse. So this will bake down quickly, but we have a lot of grass all around that will be getting cut all season long. So we'll just keep adding to it as the season goes on. So we'll plant under the trellis area. We'll have a bed on the outside for the summer climbing things. And under it, we'll be able to plant things like greens that would benefit from some shade from the heat. And then come fall, we'll be able to replant there again. And those things will help shade them when it's still hot, like in August and September. It's still pretty hot here. And they'll be able to get started. And then when the top stuff's over and done because of the cold, that stuff will be taken off. So we'll be able to get 3 harvests out of that single area for each one of those trellises that we're going to put up here. So that's what we have going on garden-wise. Let me step back here and try to give you a full view. All right, so we got coming up here to the front of the bus. Excuse the doghouse. We extra bundled her up for the Arctic blast that came, and she's enjoyed it, so we've left it. But anyway, so the front of the bus over. I'm gonna come over here, and then all the way to the woods with the greenhouses, and then all of this covered in. And this will all be mulched, and then all the way over to that rock area over there. So this is gonna be a pretty big area, and I'm super excited. Just thought I would share with y'all what we have going on. It's exciting. I love planting, and we're gonna have a lot going on this year. We're gonna have a lot of stuff. We missed it last year doing the land Sabbath, and so we've missed having stuff. So this year we're all excited about getting things growing. It's just March and it feels like summer, but I've been telling Michael since January, I wanted to be able to plant in February. I was seeing things in nature that let me know that spring was gonna come early, despite what the groundhog says. And it didn't happen. Michael just didn't have time to get the beds made and stuff, but we're gonna get something planted. Actually, tomorrow we'll start planting something, and then we'll give we have some special onions, potato onions we're gonna get planted tomorrow, and then we'll give it a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks. We plant by the moon, so I'll have to go look at the moon cycle. 3 weeks, I think's what it is. Then we'll start getting some greens out here in this new bed, and hopefully we'll have a lot of this covered by then too. Let me know in the comments, have you ever done a no-till garden? And if you have, what was your experience? And what's your favorite mulches? And voila! We have this big old garden area. So this is going to be, let's see, this is at least 16 by 16. It looks bigger than that wide. So he might have went further than he didn't measure it out, but we know that it would at least fit the 8-foot bed and then an 8-foot greenhouse. Then that looks like extra over there. So over 16 by 16. And he did it in just a little while, and you can see we got clippings on it. He watered it afterwards, so it was fluffier than this, and he watered it. The sun and the rain we're about to get is going to make this go really thin really fast, but that's okay. The point of getting this paper and the covering on, it blocks off the light so the grass dies. It also encourages worms, because the worms love to come up and eat this paper and eat this grass. It's going to get out the weeds. When you till, it stirs up weed seeds. And so by not tilling, we're saving ourselves from having to weed. Plus, we're not adding new weeds and we're not dealing with the old weeds. And it is going to do a moisture barrier to help us keep from having to water so much. Now, this is going to bake down, like I said, then that's okay, because I want to be able to plant in this really, really soon. And we will just side dress. We'll get the walkways thick and side dress as all the grass is growing in the yard. But anyway, so if we didn't plan on using grass, if we were actually getting straw or wood chips or something like that, we would put it thicker. You'd want it ideally, if you were doing it in the fall, like 4 to 6 inches thick. But when you're doing it closer to spring or in the spring, hello, Shallow, you don't want it quite that much because it's going to be difficult to plant in. So this will be great for us to get the grass killed, a planting area, get our seeds into the ground, and then side dress for later. So I'm happy with it. Looks good. Love to see my chickies. Got a bunch of chickies. They're all over, some in the coop. We lost the chicken the other night. We're not sure when we lost her, but If you can see where the rooster is, that hen beside her, her and what other, they're both Easter eggers, they would get out of the fence every day and they would lay off in the woods. And the other one, she started not coming back to the fence. The kids pick them up, put them back in the evening, and they would have to find her. And sometimes sometimes they would get back in themselves. But anyway, she just didn't get back in, apparently. And we haven't seen her for a few days, and we found feathers that go from the nest. She would sleep in the nest on the nights she didn't get in the coop. And so anyway, found some feathers the other day, and one of the other kids went and checked out and said, yeah, it looked like a lot of feathers, because it was a younger child that said, oh, there's all these feathers, I think something got a chicken. And they leave feathers. You can see there's feathers on the ground, so we want to make sure. And one of the older children went and found them and said, yeah, it looks like it, and it came out of the nest, and then there's a trail of them. So I'm sad about that, because this one and that other one, they laid beautiful colored eggs, and they were extra, extra large. They were too big to go in the egg cartons, and they were really, 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 really good layers. So that makes me sad, but we do have some more chicks coming that are Easter eggers from the same hatchery we got them from. They are the best Easter eggers we've ever had or ever seen. Most hatcheries have them listed as medium-sized eggs. These have them listed as large to extra large. Freedom Ranger hatchery. And then they also have their temperament is like calm and docile and friendly. And most hatcheries have the Easter eggers, not like they're wild, but they're just not like calm and friendly. So we've been really, really, really happy with all the stock that we've got from Freedom Ranger, but especially the Easter eggers that we got from there. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but just want to show you where he mowed to get all this. So I'm trying to see. Can you see the line right there? It's a little shorter. So he mowed that down here, and then he mowed over this area a little bit, and then where the actual garden is, he mowed, or going to be, he mowed that. But there's a lot of mowing for the amount of grass that he got. But it's March. The grass is just now like, we're like, oh, look, it's green. So come just a little while, and it will take nowhere near that much space to get that much or more grass. If y'all give this type of gardening method a try, let me know in the comments how it does for you, or if you've done it before. Talking to you with my hands. I always talk with my hands, even though my hands are on camera. Well, bye. See you later.